Hi everyone, and welcome to my December reading roundup. December was a bit of a crazy month for reading for me because I was determined to get to my 100 book goal, and that did involve me having to read 16 books in 1 month. So I'm frightened I've kind of burnt myself out a little bit, so goodness knows how much I'm going to read in January, but let's get into the books for December. So the first book I read was actually an audiobook, and it was Tom Felton's Beyond the Wand. If you were a Harry Potter kid growing up, I really recommend this, especially the audiobook version. The way that Tom tells his story is amazing. You get to hear a bit about his life before Harry Potter, during Harry Potter, and obviously after as well. And just hearing it in his own words and his own voice just gave it that little bit extra oomph and just made it a bit more impactful. Book 2 was I Left the House Today. This was super cute. It's actually a comic collection. You might actually have seen some of Cassandra Callan's stuff on the internet before and maybe not just realised, but this collection was super cute and I really enjoyed this, and I actually related to some of them more than I thought I would. A couple of them kind of got me in the feels, but it was really good. I really recommend. I gave it 4 stars. The third book was Book Love by Debbie Tung. If you're a fellow bookworm, which I'm assuming you are if you're watching this video, you'll really enjoy this little comic collection. There are so many relatable comics in there. There are so many things that are going to call you out. I know I certainly felt called out quite a lot, so I'd really recommend it. It was super cute and I gave it 4 stars as well. Next up we have In Limbo. In Limbo Was Great. I gave it 4 stars. This is a graphic memoir and it was really well done. There was a lot more content in it. It was a lot longer and there was a lot more in it than I thought there was going to be. The illustrations are absolutely beautiful and the story is one that I'm sure a lot of us can probably relate with. But it's definitely not a light-hearted read. It's definitely something that you'd probably have to be in the mood for, but I really recommend it. I think it was really good. Next up, I had to get some Christmas reads in there. Obviously, December, you have to do it. So this one was A Billionaire for Christmas. Wasn't my favourite read from the month, but when you're reading this many books in one go, you're going to have some hits and some misses. This one was alright. I gave it 3 stars. Just kind of missed the mark for me, unfortunately, but still worth a read. My next Christmas read was My Fake Christmas Fiancé, and this one got 5 stars. I really liked this one. The characters were so nice. It was quite short, but I still felt like I got to connect with the characters and I kind of got to know who they were, and this one was just cute. I really liked this one. Next up was my next Christmas read, Not Air Nice. This one just didn't do it for me. I just didn't feel like there was any chemistry between the characters, even though they're meant to have known each other for years and years and whatever. It felt really forced to me, and I just didn't really like a lot of the tropes in it. I won't spoil it in case you want to read it, but it just missed the mark for me. Next up, Rubicons. Oh my god, if you haven't heard of the Freak series yet, please get on it. It's by Brett Riley and it's absolutely amazing. This is the 3rd book in this series and I've rated them all 5 stars. The story is so good. It's like a teenage superhero story, but it's so much more than that as well. Brett Riley's absolutely amazing. He brings in all these like social issues into the book and he handles them all with like such grace and such depth that I would highly recommend. It's not just like a superhero teenager sort of book. It's so much deeper than that, and I cannot recommend the Freak series highly enough. So if you haven't got on it yet, get on it because it's absolutely amazing. Next up, Games We Play. This seemed to do the rounds on like Bookstagram and stuff ages and ages ago, and I've had it on my Kindle for so long and I was desperately needing some shorter reads, so I finally read this one. It was very short, kind of fan fiction style writing. It felt like something that I used to read back on like AO3, like back in the day sort of thing. A little bit problematic in my opinion. There was just some stuff that just felt a bit kind of icky, but if that's what you're into, then that's what you're into. It wasn't my favourite. I only gave it 3 stars. Next up, This Much Is True by Miriam Margolyes, now that I finally know how to say her surname. This was great. I mainly picked this up because my mum really likes her and she'd started reading the book and told me how good it was, so I decided to download the audiobook because I know how funny Miriam Margolyes is, so I wanted to hear her telling her story in her own words and her own voice, and she's absolutely hysterical. If you don't know who she is, she played Professor Sprout in Harry Potter, but she's done so many other things as well. She's been acting for years and years, and she's absolutely hysterical. She's so opinionated and just, she's like goals. Like, I want to be just like Miriam Margolyes when I grow up. Like, 4 stars, brilliant listen. I definitely recommend the audiobook as well because hearing her tell the stories just made it even better. Next up was my first Ali Hazelwood book, Under One Roof. I know I should read The Love Hypothesis. Everybody talks about it. It's been on my Kindle for God knows how long, but I think because of all the hype, it kind of put me off. I will read it one day. I think it's actually on my 23 for next year, maybe. I can't remember. But this one was really good. It was quite short, actually. It's a novella, but I really like the characters, the way the book started though. That was rude, but it was really good. It was really cute. It was a really short read, so it really helped kind of bump up my numbers for December, so I recommend. Next up was Their Vicious Darling by Nikki Zinkro. This is the 3rd of the Vicious Lost Boys series. I did like it, but I didn't like it as much as the first 2. I honestly don't understand what happened in the book. There was a lot that was meant to happen to kind of push the plot forward and stuff, but I got so confused halfway through, and I actually can't remember what happened. So I will read book 4 whenever it comes out, even though I thought book 3 was the finale. Apparently I was wrong, because I need to know what's going on, and I'll probably need to reread this at some point. Luckily it's quite short, so that won't take too long, just to try and figure out what the hell happened, because I obviously missed something in the plot. But either way, it was still pretty good. Next up is The Extended Summer of Anna and Jeremy. If you guys don't know, I am obsessed with Jennifer Ann Shore. Her books are amazing. She was a new to me author last year, and well, when this 2022 when these books came out, and I finally got around to reading this one, and it's so cute. It's just lighthearted. It's just brilliant. It's a nice story, and it kind of flips between kind of like the now and what happened in the summer, so it kind of took me like a chapter or two to kind of wrap my head around that, but once I did, spot on. Really enjoyed it. Next up is my last Christmas read of the month, and it was In a Holidays. This one, there was so much potential there. Their main character, she gets stuck in like a time loop and she has to keep going back to try and figure out why she was sent back. Was it to like confess to her crush? Was it to save the family cabin? You don't really know, and you never really find out, to be honest. Nothing really gets explained. You don't know why she gets stuck in the time loop. You don't know what the ultimate goal was for her to like get out of the time loop. Sorry, my air freshener's going. And I just felt like the character that she was like obsessed with, they had no chemistry, even though they're meant to have been in love with each other for years. So I don't know, it was cute, but there was just too many questions. I know it's not meant to be a sci-fi book, but I need to know the reason why. If you're going to have somebody in a time loop, tell me why it happened, or at least tell me like what was the purpose, why it happened. I need to know, and I did not get any answers. And my last read to round out 2022 was The Cursed Princess Club Volume 1. This was so cute. I remember seeing this back on Webtoon ages ago, and I kept on saying that I was going to read it, and I didn't. I don't know why, just too many Webtoons, not enough time. But when I saw this on NetGalley, I was like, this is it. This is a sign that I have to read this. And honestly, I regret not reading it earlier. It was so cute. So we've got like our 3 main girls, all sisters. 2 of them are like traditionally beautiful and all that kind of thing, and then we've got the 3rd one who's not traditionally beautiful, but she's so like warm-hearted and kind, and she's a great baker. I adore her. Like, she must be protect Gwen. I love her. She's amazing. And she ends up finding this club full of like reject princesses, and I just thought it was really cute, and it was really long. The first volume has so much content in it. Usually like with webtoons made into books and comics and things, you don't always get a lot of content, but there was so much in this first volume. There was hundreds of pages, and also it's all like full colour illustrations as well, so it was absolutely amazing. So that was a 4 out of 5. Adored it. Would definitely recommend if you haven't picked up. Sorry, my dinner is ready. If you haven't picked this up on Webtoon or anything, definitely pick it up when you get the chance. Hi, editing Laura jumping in here. Apparently I cannot count. When I made the original video, I only did 15 of the 16 books that I read in December. So the missing book was Kingdom of the Feared. And if you don't know, this is the third in the series, and oh my god, it was absolutely brilliant. The whole series has just been amazing. Amelia's character development and character growth has just been absolutely outstanding. She is a completely different person from who she was in book 1, and she's just so much stronger and independent, and just she's got so much depth to her now. Just absolutely amazing. And of course the relationship between her and Wrath is just absolutely spot on. So if you haven't read this series, recommend it. And there's going to be spin-off books coming. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but there's definitely spin-off books coming. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. And that's it. That's all 16 books that I read in December to achieve my 100 book goal. So I've set the lofty goal of 100 again for 2023, and here's hoping I make it. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.